this is like, I feel like I just need to tell like the story just because of like how badly it affected me. So tissue just irritates me eye. So to find me, and I'm not allowed to say I got the ugly face on, but yeah, and then I go not feeling so fresh today. So we're gonna deal with it. So, something like that. So yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, like you're gonna know that's part of the story anyway. It's the longest introduction ever, which make it longer ain't it? So in July the 31st to this, by the way, you will look at me and like, she's always fucking itching. That's what happens when I know, because the nerves are all like jingly. So yeah, I'm not like infected with anything, I don't think anyway. So went in to an eyebrow lift, which, see the scar there, you can't see that one, and then also I know how to flex on myself. You have an eyebrow lift and a weight put in the eye. That was to help with symmetry and balance. So a couple of weeks, like 10 days after I had that operation, I woke up in the night and the neck was just like, I was in agony and it was just stuck. So my mum rang an ambulance and the ambulance came, gave me some painkillers and took me to the hospital. There's gonna be a lot in this where I'm gonna have to say I found out later. This is the first thing that I found out later. So I must have just been on morphine, I think, and I was knocked out from like 2 o'clock in the morning till about 2 o'clock in the afternoon or even later. Your mum had to go to work, so she called me dad to come and be with me, which is very fortunate that my mum works in care and she knows that through COVID and stuff like that, people who require care are still entitled to that care in a hospital. So someone was allowed to do with me, and I woke up and I remember like my dad was on the floor, which was mad. So that was the Friday afternoon, and then early on the Saturday I'm lying, I was stuck in the hospital because they wanted to scan me on the Saturday and it got cancelled, and whatever they'd given me, I was like Jekyll and Hyde. Who's the nasty one? Whatever, I was the nasty one. I just freaked out. I was saying I'm not staying here. You can't keep me shouting and screaming. And they just said, if you don't stay, I'll give you an MRI. At that point, my leg, was fine. I had no concern at that point that the scan results would be serious. because during surgery, you required, well, the surgeon and the assistants did your head like so far back because they use like a big metal spatula. It goes right in like your mouth and down your throat. That suppresses the tongue to get the breathing apparatus in your mouth. So it's not uncommon to experience like discomfort in your neck. And I was just like, fucking COVID and all that, I'm not staying. So they talked me into staying, and I went for the scan here on the Monday, and it was like very quickly passed on to the next hospital next door to my consultant. So they was so busy, with the hospital, they didn't have anyone to get me from the ward to the next hospital. So my mum just said, get me a wheelchair, I'll take it myself. So she literally ran. By the way, this is gonna be a long story because it's 6 weeks. So he actually ran, and it was late for the appointment, and the consultant, she's like, how are you, is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine, to get out the way, it was obviously the surgery. And she's like, it's another brain tumour, I'm so sorry. And I just, here we go, my heart just burst into, and I was just like, okay, what are we doing about it? Because, sometimes radiotherapy, is an option. And she said, well, we can get it out. How are you doing? And I was like, well, I feel like quite alright. And at that point, I kind of forgot that at the beginning of July, I just felt like something was off. Didn't feel like it could be that, at all. So I contacted the team who deal with everything, and they got me an appointment with another consultant, and he checked me over, and he just sort of said, everything pretty stable, but we get you to scan, anyway. So even though that has happened, it was still just like a shock. So when I told her that I was like, okay, she said, well, it's gonna be soon, because it wasn't this tumour. So with an earth, there's a lot inside me. Some affect me, some don't. Some change, some don't. But when that one was found, I get scans every year. So this was found in August 2021. The last scan that I had was September 2020, and in September 2020 it was not even a star in the sky. So she's like, well, it's urgent, but not really. any indication of how urgent. So I was just like, I thought that was that the result had broken me. I did not know, what was coming. So, editing Amy here. God, when I watched that bit, I could cry again. I cannot tell you just how much that result just, wow, it knocked the stuffing out of me. Life and the health just felt like it was getting better than it had in years. I'm gonna cry again. I had to go back to the ward and just sort of wait for the communication, I guess, from my consultant to the discharge team. It's standard procedure to, when someone's got like a tumour or a growth, to give them steroids to reduce inflammation before any surgery. So as this where it all went wrong, I was given steroids to take home and some painkillers and stuff. So that was like all okay. This is the day where it gets out of control, and between what I can remember and what my family and I can remember, it was that traumatic and chaotic for all of us. It just can't make sense of like what happens between that and the surgery. I went home with the steroids and these only gave me 5 days worth, which was just like whatever, go, you do what they sort of tell you to do. So I took them, and then once I come off them, I was in the most excruciating pain from like head to toe, and then I think I went back in to A&E, and they gave me more painkillers, and then I think more steroids, and again it was only 5 days, and it happened again. But then I think at that point they said, I can't get anything else. This next bit is the definition of too much information. So I think I went in twice over the pain and the steroids, and then I don't think they gave me anything after that. But because I was going to A&E and my specialists are based in another city without connections to a Liverpool hospital, things just get lost. So it was just a bit like, so they gave me the steroids again. But while I was on the 3rd dose, there's the nasty bit. I don't know how long that went on for. But obviously, me family, they wouldn't leave me, to suffer if they thought it was anything bad. I was still drinking and stuff, so again in the middle of the night, I was like, oh my god, I've got a good toilet. So I got to the toilet and was doing what needed to be done, and I kind of remember what happens. I just kind of crunched over like that, and I gotta lift this arm up to show you, but sort of round the stomach, the arms and the hands, and everything just went black. And at that point, my mum and my sister and my stepdad were in the doctor with me. And I just come round and I went, it's, and it just every last inch of bones, the skin, the teeth, the jaw, and the neck, everything was just so. Back to Riley. So yeah, then I was back again. Is like difficult, at the best of times. Can you imagine with all COVID going on and difficult as someone with quite deaf every person. I rely on lip reading. I just had to tell everyone, sorry I can't hear. So they had to communicate with my mum, which I was very, very fortunate that she could come, that she did come, and that she could translate that. But also it's, I don't know what the way it is. I was secondary to what was going on. And I was in there for God knows how long, and I don't remember a lot of that. Getting given this medication. They just said that, you can take this. You've had a seizure, so take this and then go home. So I think I'd been in there for 18 hours, so I went in at around 2 o'clock in the morning again, and then I got home at about 8 o'clock at night. He said Dad to come pick me up, and I was... This is where it gets really hard. So I was talking, what do you want to eat? So I went to get some food, and as I was eating, I could feel this medication kicking in, and I thought it was hilarious because it was if you've ever taken cannabis, it was when you get the giggles, that sweet spot of getting high. And I was I think we should just go to bed because I don't really know, what to expect next. So I think I should just try and sleep it off. So I got to the bottom of the stairs. I went up the stairs anyway. And obviously this is only 4 weeks after this surgery. So and then all the other stuff here. When you're already quite weak, you're deteriorating a lot faster. So my stepdad carried me to dead, and then I would try and make this make sense. I don't know if this did what I remember was part of the different admission. I don't know. Well, I remember like waking up and my mum had gone to work and my stepdad had gone back to his job, and I just called my sister because I woke up in the night, and I just said, "Can you ring me an ambulance? Because I think I'm dying." I was not in pain. I was not in any like physical pain, but I just that the life, was leaving me body. I don't know how else to explain it. I think that was after that, but I'm not sure. So then the rest of that time, I didn't find out until like 2 weeks after the surgery. And a lot of you will have seen how happy that I was and posting on Instagram and laughing and all them things for like the first couple of weeks after the surgery. So I'll come back to that. A couple of weeks after the surgery, just talking like to my family, you're going over the road, and my mum was like, I just slept like for days. She couldn't wake me up. It was a long time. But because I was breathing and stuff, I don't think anyone was like worried. Well, she was getting like a cup, like a bottle of water, and not for me as much, but for my family had to put up with during this time. Kills me. Absolutely just kills me. Sitting, got bowls of water in my mouth to get you awake, and it doesn't matter who she called or what she said. We were getting nowhere. So I had to go back into hospital, and then there was like a whole other friggin' thing because there was just no one coming. It was just like make her comfortable, and that was just like terrifying. So the Jacqueline highs come out again, and someone came back to me and she was like, well, what is it that you were taking? So she gets all the stuff and she went, has you got epilepsy? And I said, no. She was like, this is anti-epileptic. I don't think you should have taken that. Here's some more painkillers, go home. So at this point, that was 4 or 5 A&E visits in a month. As it goes, none of the things that I went in for were really anything to do with the tumour. It was just the pain in the neck. Unconfirmed if that was related, but it was most likely the surgery or the other admissions were the steroids, and then we're not really sure about the toilet situation. What was that? The 31st of August, and one of my consultants, nurses, called. She said, can you come in tomorrow? We want to do your surgery on Thursday, which was 2 days later. And I said, yeah. She said, you've got to come in and stay on a COVID ward, which is you go in to like just a ward where you go to get tested, stay there, and then the next day is the surgery. So they allowed me mum to come for that too. But at this point, I think I was back on steroids. I was either the dog or whatever, and I'd stopped taking the seizure medication. So I was like pretty well. So when the surgeon came to see me, I was just sitting in bed texting on the phone, and she was, how do you feel? I said, fine. You know, I didn't think anything. No, I didn't have any symptoms. But what I was trying to say is, they thought I had the pain in my neck. I had no signs of the brain tumour. In hindsight, I had one little one, which was what I'd took myself in for in July, which was, as I said to the doctor, my leg, it just feels lazy. So the surgeon, she walks us through and she went, what's going on? And I was like, what do you mean? She went, I'm just coming to work, and it's just Amy. She says, I've got other patients to see. She looks alright. And the mum was just a bit like, she went, yeah, but it's, I was trying to tell her, she went, I'm going to have to get ready for theatre anyway. I'll see you soon, to me. And I was like, but then I didn't know what got said to me mum, because the surgeon was wearing a mask, and they were like a bit away, so I couldn't hear. And my mum couldn't tell me what was said until later, because the different nurses were coming for the different tests and things that are needed. And then someone come with a wheelchair. I was like, time to go. And my mum, she's like, you know, I'll come with you. And I said, no. That's hard. That's what I just thought. I've done it before. You know, it's harder. sort of that they were like, come with you. And I was to see just how many people and all that. I couldn't do it. I just went, by myself. So then I don't remember waking up in. Usually you get woke up in like the theatre or near the theatre in recovery. Sometimes you remember and sometimes you don't, and I didn't. So the next thing I remember, I woke up on a ward and I was in agony, absolute agony, and I called after the nurse and two magpies flying by like that. Go for the nurse and I said, can I help? Something for the pain? And she said, yeah, let me just check your notes. So she checked and she said, you can only have paracetamol. And I said, God, they don't do nothing, sedative when you're at home, do they? Well, it's all you can have. Do you want it? And I went, well, I don't even know how you'd expect me to take it. Bearing in mind, I'd been knocked out for 10 hours. It's like doing a afternoon reset on your phone and after surgery like that. You don't even know your own name, like, really. So I said, well, yeah, well, I don't know how you'd expect me to take it. I thought I was gonna have to sit up, take a tablet and, swallow it, which I will put pictures at the end so you can see. I was just like flat out and I thought I could not have sat up in the pain that I was in. And then no one expects you to do anything, Amy. And I was like, do you want it or not? And I went, no. It's because I thought I'd have to just try and go back to sleep. Because I just didn't, I thought I had to sit up, when I wouldn't have been able to. And it wasn't long after that I was howling, absolutely howling in pain. And I was just screaming, like, help me, please help me, someone come to see me. And I said, please, you've got to help me. I said, that surgery and the brain tumour didn't kill me. I said, if that didn't, I said, this will. And then I don't know what happened. Well, I woke up again like a little while later, and I think I asked him for a cup of tea, and the paracetamol nurse come back over, and said, so how are you feeling now? And I said, yeah, much better. Thank you. And she said to me, I don't know who she thinks that she was talking to. And she said, yeah, we should have listened to you the first time, shouldn't you? Who thinks she works in a hospital dedicated to neurological sicknesses? She should have known, and she just said that. And I was trying to say, God forgive me for saying, oh, God forbid, son, come out, like, God forbid that you or your husband or your children ever have to suffer what I've just suffered through. I said, you are absolutely disgusting. Leave me alone. I was absolutely mortified that she saw fit to speak to me like that. And I was shaken because I said your head, your brain it's like it doesn't, belong to you. It really doesn't. And it was like quite dark, but from lying down, I could see just how many doctors and nurses and machines and different things, that was going on. It was not like a ward, that I've ever seen before. And I was just thinking, this is a place for like the sickest of the sick, and I was just absolutely mortified to think that the way that I cried and I howled, I thought that would upset other patients and the nurses and the doctors, and I was just devastated that I did that. I was, and I called to the nurse, and a different one came, and I just said, I just want to apologise. And she said, what for? And I said, well, for the crying and the shouting. I was in so much pain. And she said, it wasn't that bad. You haven't been here that long. And I said, I just said, I just didn't think that I could take the paracetamol. She said, why not? And I said, well, not really in a position to be sitting up or lying and swallowing something safely. I have difficulty swallowing anyway. And she said, you wouldn't have doctor says so. And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, you've got, the cannula in your hands, so just goes in there. And I was just like, that other nurse, she should have known that. She should have, I was not in a position to be understanding the situation or knowing, the how it works, and all that. And I was just, well, how disgusting is that? Like, in and out of sleep. And I come round, and there was a nurse. She was like, Irene. She said, yeah. She handed me, and he said, what's that? She said, she's out. And I just burst into tears. So I was like crying. And then I was like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, thank you. And she was like, are you sure? And I said, yeah, she was like, does that actually mean to upset you? And I said, no, I'm not upset. You know, I'm just so happy to, I can, you know, speak to my family now and text everyone. And, oh, that was just the best feeling ever, was to, you know, just speak to people. And so there's a lot of wires and needles and stuff going on, giant bandage on the head. And for that night I was, not allowed to do that, because obviously where I was and after surgery, if you don't know what a catheter is, when you're having surgery, you get like a straw basically in your wee hole, and it comes through your pipes, out the pipe and then into a bag. So because of what I've been through, I was on, I think, half 30-minute checks. So they take your temperature, look in your eyes, squeeze your fingers, heartbeat, blood pressure, and give a little wiggle on your cannula. Just and that. So, needless to say, I did not get much sleep that first night. So the next morning, I was like really quite well. I was comfortable enough to sit up and have a cup of tea and some breakfast. So I got moved like a little bit round the ward because I was getting transferred to a different ward out of that like intensive care. They got me somewhere and it was a little bit busier, and the surgeon come in to check on me. She just said, how are you feeling? I said, yeah, I'm fine. You know, managing the pain, and got me phone, had me breakfast, going for a scan and then onto the ward. And she just went, wow. She says I'm speechless. She says I've never, Jay stumbles over the words. She's just like, I've never known anyone to have the tumour and the surgery that you had. I've never known anyone to come out the other side of it the same, she said, let alone being able to sit up, make sense, eating and drinking as like quickly as that. It's just like, I'm so happy. I said, well, I couldn't have done it without you. She's quite like that, I think. If anything, I think I do all the surgeon's heads in, because I'm just like, right, I've been thinking, oh, I've been speaking to so-and-so, or out just that, and I ask a lot of questions, and make a lot of jokes. So that was nice. So she was just sitting there watching the world go by, and then kind of got moved again, and I could see a little bit more of what was happening here on the wall, and I was just like, that was hard to see. Like, it's like a lot of distraught families, which you could see people in casts, halo frames, people who couldn't feed themselves, and just from the amount of doctors, nurses, and all the different uniforms that the different departments, wear, and the wires and things that the other patients, were connected to, is difficult to see. And I was just thinking about the way that it was the night before, and I was just cried like a lot, and I had to go for the nurse and just say, like, I understand that this is difficult for you, and I just, you must be the most amazing person to have to deal with this. I said, can you shut the curtains? I said, because I can't look at this. I'm embarrassed that I can't, but it's too hard, to see. And it just makes me feel so much worse for the way that I was last night. And she says, oh, it's okay. If I go to her, don't worry about it. So she shut me in. I got to go for the scan, and I got put back on the ward. And then not long after that, my mum was allowed to come with me. So she came with all the food, all the snacks and stuff. Like, I couldn't really eat what gets served in hospitals. That's a whole different story. So I had to. I felt well enough to go home, like, the day after the surgery. I could have managed, obviously, with the support and the family, getting to the toilet, cooking, and all of them things. But I was comfortable, enough. But I had to stay in because I lost so much blood during the surgery. So I was absolutely furious. No one likes hospitals. So the next day they come. They took a lot of blood on a few occasions. They had a lad in the hospital which somehow takes my blood and makes more of my blood with it, and then put like a thing in your arm and that goes in you. So I had that over the Saturday and the Sunday. By the Saturday night, the bandage on the head was like pretty uncomfortable. It's like quite uncomfortable. Not really like in pain, but when you're on your bum, like for so long, you get sores. And also, I don't think I've really been able to wash properly since the morning of the surgery, which was the Thursday. So now we're at the Saturday, and then I had a lot of blood stuck in the air, all the iodine that they use on you. I was like, just covered in. It's just is unpleasant, how disgusting, that you feel. And I asked the nurse, how I'll get in the shower, things like that. She says, oh, well, we'll just, did you like the a good stage to wash your hair? Gotta keep this dry, well, you should be good to go that way and wash your hair. So we're gonna ask one of the doctors if we can take your bandage off. So there was staples, then plasters, then padding, and then a big wrap, like massive, right round the theatre of that somewhere. And says I look like Marge Simpson at the time. Well, this Marge Simpson house was uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, and it just seemed to be taken so long for them to come and take it out, and I was crying and calling to the nurse and just begging, and someone come, took the wrap and the padding off, so I was just left with stickers over the staples, which I've got pictures of that. My mum got me to the shower and sat me in the chair, and as soon as she put the shower on me, and then she got the sponge, I just burst into tears. The 2 days before that, I had the catheter getting, wiggled. Just every tool that they could use on me, they did. I had needles when I went for the scans, countless amounts of blood. When they take the cannula out and think, I've got enough. And as it goes, it wasn't. So they were coming back. And all that had been happening, the days, even weeks, was being hurt. I was still so amazing. The care that they provide you, but in the seconds that you wake up, it's someone will come, check your either, half an hour later, someone will come and ask you what you want for breakfast. Half an hour later, they come back to get you your breakfast. Then they come back to take it away and just sit up a sec, change your delicacies. And then after that, there's another checkup, and then a doctor, and then another checkup, and then the cleaner, then your lunch order, then come back with your lunch, come back and clean, and then just going to get some blood, more tests. It's relentless. How grateful for that I am. It's a necessary evil, getting that shower and getting washed and touched by someone who didn't want to hurt me. I just cried. I just can't even put into words how much pain that you outside out the surgery I had. At one point, I didn't think all at the same time, but over the course of that hospital stay, I had needles in both feet, the back of both hands, and a crease of the elbow, so in the wrists, me left, the crease in the left elbow. I've got a picture of just how it was black, absolutely black with bruising. I went for a scan not long ago, and I had to get an injection in my arm and put my arm out to get it, and she got the needle in, but the liquid wouldn't go in because it's the sickle scar inside. So I had two blood transfusions, and then I went home on the Monday, and I think that's when I got talking to my family, and they told me about when I was asleep, like for all that time, and I was just devastated that they had to, go through with that shit. So, while all that time, from August to September, was Speak of the Devil, was going on. My boyfriend was away, and I texted him and said, did you know I was all that time that I was asleep? And he said, yeah, of course I did. I spoke to your mum, all the time. She told me everything. He said, at one point, he said I was awake for 36 hours straight. And I think the heartbreak of that was worse than finding out that I had a brain tumour. Because when we were talking, I was just thinking, it's not just him, that felt that way, that frightened and stuff. It was, my sister, my stepdad, my dad, my nan, everyone who knew. Very, very, very fortunate to they loved the way that I am, and so many people, and I was just that killed me absolutely. And then he come home and come to see me, and I didn't recognise him. It was just, I think I nearly killed him too. And that again, I would not wish the feeling that I felt when I seen him, or what he went through, or me family. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And this is when things took a turn. I left it out of the ring because it's a lot. So I just had to start recovering then. I was happy because it's not hard to be healthy when you're on drugs, but also getting the feedback that I got of the surgeon, that was amazing to say, and then surviving, getting it gone. I was riding the wave, and then 12 weeks later I got a scan and they tested the tumour. So they tested the tumour and it had precancerous cells. And I didn't think I could take anymore. I was a shell. I was just broken. I had absolutely nothing left to give. And they were like, gonna have to have radiotherapy. It's gonna be every day for 6 weeks to make sure, it doesn't come back. And I was just, I had no sight. Nothing left. And I was just, So, I got referred to a radiologist, oncologist, and when I told her just how unwell that I was, physically and emotionally, she says, okay, well, we can see in a month, and we scan you again, and just make sure that it isn't going back, because the neurosurgeon was saying that it was coming back no matter what it was. So that was in November. I got the results. December, I spoke to the oncologist. Then I had a scan in January of this year. As it goes, the tumour is not coming back. So, I will be working on when I am keeping it that way. We're not having it back. We're not. I will. No. Are they? I won't. But needless to say, I needed a lot of counselling. I did. And I was that tired and just couldn't go with people. I didn't say more than like 7 people, the 7 people closest to me. I didn't see anyone outside of that until December, because I just coming out of the hospital. At that point, I thought I had nothing left to give, and then I got them results. Well, alright then, I'll just shake you. Fuck me up. You did. You really did. Oh God. I'm just so tired. I wish I could just be left alone, but I can't escape.